Good morning. I have 11 ounces, like 11 and a quarter ounces of 93% ground beef in each of these, or total. I think there's like 5 in one and then 6 and a quarter in the other. I don't know which one's which, but I put my crock pot on low and then I put water in it. You could definitely stand at your oven and and cook your ground beef in batches. I've done it that way in the past, but this is my method. I don't have to do anything. I can put them in, and now I can go to Walmart, or I could play video games, or I could cook vegetables, whatever else I want to do. So I just do them in the crock pot. It's just a lot easier for me. I do use the plastic liners because when you cook it in the crock pot, especially the leaner meat really adheres to the outer edges. And on meal prep day, I have a lot of dishes. So this is just my way of making it a little bit easier on myself. You definitely can leave the liners out. But I put it on low. Both of them are set on low. And I put some water in there. The water just, well, one, it's a nice broth to have afterwards. But two, it helps keep the meat from sticking to the edges. So, and since these are very lean, like I said, the 93% adheres to the edges. So anyway, so now every hour I will come in and I will use this and I'll chop it up every hour. So talk about a very easy peasy, minimal meal prep. That's what I like. I'm all about less is more, y'all. Less is more. Less work is more beneficial. So I'm just gonna, and I'll show you all when I come back. But I actually have to go to Walmart, so it's gonna be a little longer than an hour this time. Okay, so I've been to Walmart, so it's probably been a little over an hour, maybe an hour. I don't know. If I take the chopper and I just do this, and every hour, that's all I do. No manual labor, no standing over a hot stove, no patting out burgers. I just go in and I chop it. And yeah, so I'm gonna do this in both of them. Hang on. Okay, here's a better angle. I just kind of put it in, I gently turn. If you scrape the edges too much, it will tear the plastic. But if you're not using plastic, then you don't have to worry about it. But I try to pull it away from the edges if possible, because that's kind of where it gets done the fastest. So there we go. So that's, now I'll do that every hour, but I'm going to go ahead and do this other one that I'll show you whenever we come back and do this the next time. All right, so it has been 1 hour, well, like in about 5 minutes. And I come through and I chop it up again. Now you will find if you do fatty meat, it is a lot easier to chop up because that fat, it just kind of, your thing will glide right through it. But I need lean meat right now, so whatever meat you use, you'll find that the different amount of fat in them has different texture as you're doing this stage right here. And again, I try to pull some of it away from the edges and chop it up, get it mixed in there real good. There we go. And I have found over the years, because listen, I've been doing I did my ground beef like this once I understood it and started doing this, because I was carnivore for those 2 years, and I did my meat like this so much when I was carnivore. It's just so much easier. But like I said, you can do it your way, whatever your way is. But man, oh man, it sure does work for me. All right. Here's this one. Kind of have to go in, put a little muscle in it. And you also have to watch, because I've slipped and shot that juice all out over me. So kind of have to Gonna have to do it carefully and slowly. You chip away at it a little bit at a time. So I kind of feel like I didn't do this one a while ago whenever I did the other one. It kind of feels as if I didn't. And I wouldn't be surprised if I forgot to do it. I probably pushed stop recording and forgot about this one. But that's all right. It'll just be more textured than the other one. It'll still taste good. All right. Now, you can also, at this stage, you can season your meat, your stuff. I don't season it because I use it for different things. And I like that broth. I want my broth to be as clean as possible. So, but if you don't care about that, you can season it up too. Like I said, this method works for chicken. It works for beef. I've done it with pork sausage. This method works for any of your ground meats. Okay, so we have, hang on, I got something on here. So we are done with these. So now I'm going to get my hot pads and we'll pull them out. Then we can just kind of set, I just kind of have to do things, I kind of have to clear things out a little at a time to make space for me. There's that. Get this one put away. I'm going to get that one put away just a second. So now I'm going to manhandle it and I've got my strainer and I've got this. I'm going to manhandle it and put this into here. I'm going to pour it in there. We're going to see how this works. Sometimes I poke holes in this and sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. Now, please know this is definitely more rare than what I want to eat it. But I microwave this, so it's okay. Give me just a second because it's not easy to get this in there. All right. So there we go. All right, so that's the first one. I'm just going to put this right back into here just so I have a place to kind of house it because we're going to do the other one the same way. So hold on. And then this will be easier for me to, it'll be easier whenever I am doing the, like portioning it out. Because then whenever I get that, I'm going to drain that one and put it in here also. But I have too much liquid, so. I know it's a lot. You take it for what it's worth. You do what works best for you, but this is my method. Here, because I would rather do a little more right now than standing over a hot stove and chopping, and frying it all up during the cooking process. But you might not think that way. So, all right, I'm gonna get this other one in here. And the meat in here, and then we'll portion it out because we gotta let that cool quite a bit. So this is the broth that I have off of it. Because it's 93%, it's only gonna have a teeny tiny little fat cap. So it's only gonna be like about that much of a fat cap, which is fine. Usually if I do like really super lean meat or really super fatty meat, I get a really good fat cap, and then I can do whatever I want to with that. Personally, what I do, I make dog treats out of it. But I have people who are like, why don't you put that back in there? Well, I don't because as I was losing weight, I was doing leaner meats. So I was doing a lean, low carb way of eating. And since now I'm going to be working on my cholesterol, again, I'm going to be doing a lean, lower carb, not keto, but lean, lower carb, whole foods way of eating as I try to lower my cholesterol. But I am going to wait. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, let that top congeal, scrape it off, and then I'll use the broth that's down there. I'll use that because 93% is so dry. So if I have some broth that for days that I'm not going to add something to it, then I can use the broth to kind of give it some softness. So anyway, so I still gotta let that cool, and I'll put this in the refrigerator to cool. So this is my setup. Lori and Leah sent me these little stands. You put your Ziplocs in them, and you can extend them if you have taller Ziplocs, or you can, if you have shorter Ziplocs, you can leave them. You know, you can leave them down where they are. Hang on, I gotta do this careful. I don't want to break it. Come on, fella. Okay. I'm gonna be careful. I say as I bang on it. Anyway, so for the way I'm going to eat over the next 3 months, I need 8-ounce portions of this 93% ground beef. So we're going to go, I've got it on ounces. I'm trying to figure out which scoop is going to work better. And that's too big. I think I'll go with this one. I was going to just use my bare hands, but I think I'm going to use this one. It's 3.5, 6.4, 7.4, 7.9. You know I'm going to go right to 8. I ain't going under. All right. So 8.1, which is totally fine. So I'm going to feel all, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know I can't math. There's 8 of them. And so after you get your portion, you slide it out, and then you fold it up. And then these are 8-ounce bags of ground beef. And so, yes, I did it a little too early, but it'll be all right. I ain't gonna worry about it. But now I can flatten it out, and I can freeze them this way, and then I can stand them up in my thing that I have in the freezer. I'll show you what I have it housed in. Hang on. This right here, it's just a little tote, storage tote, and so I just have them housed right in there. So after they freeze flat, I can stand them up in here, and that's where I have them. Also have my frozen fish that I'll be adding to it in there also. But anyway, but first I'll need to freeze them stacked. So, because look, see how stiff that is? But that is so much less space than what I was doing with the containers. And then on, the night before, whenever I get it ready, I'll put it in a container and I can put a lid on it and take it to work. Because I don't care about taking up space in my lunchbox. But in my freezer is where I have limited space. So that's how I'm doing my meat. Those are all the 9.5-ounce portions. So these, I'll have to put like something between them so I know where it starts. But anyway, so yeah. And I think my chicken in there might be 8-ounce servings too. So that'll be good. Those, I'll have some already made up, but I'll have to look through it all. But anyway, so I'll put like something between them so that way I know when the 9.5-ounce starts and the 8-ounce starts for my macros. Okay, so 11 ounces of 93% made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 servings. These are 8-ounce servings. And so I made them all flat, and I'll pop them in the freezer flat. So then, like I said, I'll stack them up in my thing whenever it's ready to go. And yeah, so that is how I'm doing my meat portion of my 3 months to lower my cholesterol project. So that's the meat portion. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hey, so I lied. We weren't done. I actually I skimmed off as much of the fat as I could. There's still a little fat on these. I'm going to pop these in the freezer, but I'm going to label them as clean beef broth and then pop them in the freezer. I could have maybe put a little more in it, but I had way too many of these just grow when it's freezing and oozing out the top or shatter the glass, and I don't want to do that, so I left plenty of space. I am not screwing these on. I mean, I'm still going to be, but I'm going to set them in the freezer just like this, so then I'll be able to be using this clean broth as I need to, but I'll make little something to label them that it's clean beef broth, so I'll know that I can use those in my ground beef. Okay, and that's my version of a label. See, I got it right there on this little sticky note. And All right. So there we go. Now I'm going to pop these in the freezer. Like I say, I'm not going to screw them all the way down. Just a little, so that way air can kind of seep through because it's going to grow. So, all right. Now that's the end of our beef meal prep. Bye.